So 5 months ago, we were talking about Toby Collyer, and I said this. One of the reasons why Kobe made the transition from youth football to senior football look so easy was because physically he had a brilliant understanding of how to use his body, and Collyer has certainly been showing that. Fast forward to yesterday, and we were proven right. Toby Collyer's physicality, his intensity, was key to Manchester United surviving against Arsenal before eventually winning the game on penalties. Yes, Collyer may have only had 15 touches whilst he was on the pitch, but he really got through his fair share of defensive work, and physically, he made up for the extra man that Arsenal had. Toby Collyer was largely one of the reasons why we got through this game, and of course today we are going to break down what it was he done so effectively, and why he could be crucial for us in the future. But before we get into that, if you guys could quickly subscribe to the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. We've got huge goals this year, so I need your help, so please just press subscribe, and then we'll get into the video. So the big thing that I was talking about in that clip just 5 months ago was Toby Collyer and his physicality and the importance that has in this Manchester United team. And it starts off in situations like this, set pieces. We know that typically Manchester United are quite a small team. You can see at the near post, next to Collyer we've got Bruno Fernandes. We often have quite short players in this area. Having Toby Collyer immediately provided us with a big profile at the front post. This is the benefit of having an extra physical player. It helps you in situations like this. Also in these moments as well, where Manchester United are really up against it. We've got 10 men, so we can't be brave and bold. We can't play out from the back. We're going to have to go long sometimes, but we need someone who can actually win those headers. If not, it's just coming straight back at us. Step up Toby Collyer, again using his size, his physicality. The leap here, by the way, is actually really impressive to knock the ball on. And again, in this game, it helped United survive the tricky patches because we could go long, he was an out ball for us, we could flick on the header and then kind of get ourselves back into position. We could regroup a little bit. And it was because Collyer was winning these situations. But what I also loved was the running capacity of this man as well. This is a tall guy, and you can see in particular the stride length is really impressive. Toby Collyer has an engine on him. When we look at him in the fitness drills, for example, at Manchester United, it is often reported that he is one of the players that performs at the absolute best, apart from Bruno Fernandes. But Toby Collyer, in these moments, has this acceleration, but also this desire to match. He shouldn't be winning this ball. He is well behind the Arsenal player here. But just the desire, and of course the physical capacity, allows him to get back, goal side, and make tackles like this, with those brilliant long legs into these slide tackles to win the ball. And again, often in these moments, he's quite clean in the way that he tackles. But not only was he happy to track back and help in the middle of the pitch, also out wide as well. There were situations where Malacia would be caught out of position. Again, we're playing with 10 men. You know, it's going to happen. It's going to be spaces. But having a player like Collyer, who can physically almost play two positions at times, really helps you out. He allows you to track back into these positions. Here you can see, again, the real stride length that Collyer is going for here. But what's important is the ability to change your stride length to match the opposition. This is crucial when going into 1-versus-1 situations as a defender. Being able to, of course, accelerate to keep up with a player, but you also have to be able to decelerate, because that is what wingers do. They speed up, they slow you down, they change direction, and they speed up and slow down again. You have to be able to match that, and Collyer in a moment like this is literally mirroring the player on the ball, so it's really good defensive work. And eventually, again, he is able to get the foot in with those long legs to make the tackle and put the ball out for a corner. But also in moments like this, we're talking about agility. Of course, he was one of the fresher players on the pitch. We do have to take that into consideration. But in moments like this, Sterling was trying to stand him up and he was trying to commit him. So Sterling would drop to the right, so Collyer would follow him. But also when Sterling takes the next touch inside, again, Collyer has the agility to move with him, moving infield in the pitch like this to again get that outstretched foot in to make the tackle. So of course this was particularly important in this game. As I've said already, Manchester United were down to 10 men. Arsenal were always literally going to have the extra man and always therefore probably be able to find some space. But when you've got a player like Toby Collyer who can almost cover two positions, it is so valuable to your team. I would say Mason Mount is another player that can do that, or a Declan Rice at Arsenal, for example, is a player who will often play two positions. Collyer gives that to Manchester United, and it was crucial in this match for closing down spaces. But what I love about him in those moments is it isn't just about closing down spaces and forcing the opposition to play backwards. He is also aggressive in those duels like we were seeing, but he doesn't overcommit either. He's got a really nice balance to the way that he approaches these situations. And in terms of how that works for him as a player, and again, I did speak about this a few months ago, I do see him as more of a box-to-box midfielder. I think people were watching him in pre-season and saying, this is a holding midfielder, someone who could sit deep in front of the defence and shield and protect. And perhaps someday he could become that. With training, with coaching from Ruben Amorim, he might develop into that. But at the moment, he has got this amazing physical base, which allows him to get up and down the pitch all day long. The stride length, the ability to match opposition players. He wants to get up and down the pitch. He wants to vacate space at times because he wants to go after people. It is a little bit like Ugarte. I spoke about this a lot when Ugarte first joined the club. I was worried about him in a single pivot because I was saying how he likes to jump forward, he likes to get towards the ball. And again, we have been proven right in that sense. However, since he has been in more of a double pivot defensively, Ugarte, he has been much better defensively because he's given that license to play a little bit further forward, to not always have to sit and shield, but to be allowed to jump. And this is why I think Collyer is so useful to this Manchester United squad. Those of you that have been watching live streams recently will know that I have been asking him to play more minutes. Now, of course, he's had injuries, and Ruben Amorim has been trying to protect him, I guess. But I think now he's had that opportunity. And for me, I would say he took that opportunity. He took that chance and performed well. I think he's got a real place in this Manchester United squad. Physically, he is a lot better than Christian Eriksen and Casemiro. He is a lot better than those two. He can cover ground so much better. And like I said, Ugarte is probably our most important player right now. So having a player who can do something similar could be really crucial for us. I also think in a way he's quite similar to Ugarte on the ball as well, because he's a player who takes a good first touch. He shows for the ball a lot. You know, he's not shy. He doesn't hide. He's happy to go and get on the ball. Once on the ball, though, it is a little bit simple. Again, that's not a criticism. That's just how certain players play the game. You have balances in a squad. You will have some that are really progressive and play forward all the time. You will have some who are quite safe. Collyer is the latter. He is a safer player on the ball. He wants to take a safe touch and then move the ball out wide. But again, if you look at what United have done in recent weeks tactically, that is Ugarte's role in the squad. I think Collyer may have proven with his performance yesterday, but also going back as far as pre-season, I think he may have proven that he is the ideal Ugarte backup. He's got that engine where I think even on the ball, he can carry the ball. He needs to do it more in my opinion, but I think he's got the frame for it. Again, Ugarte is a player who on occasion, we saw it more against Liverpool last week, and actually we did a video on it if you want to go watch it, but on occasion was given that license to carry the ball forward, to burst. I think that's something Collyer will need to do more of as he develops and grows as a player. But I think Collyer really is just ideal. Is he a world beater? No. Is he ever going to be a Ballon d'Or contender? I doubt it, to be honest. But in terms of physically, he gives you a base. He gives you a foundation. And that is what Ruben Amorim is building at the moment. Ruben Amorim at Manchester United is building an identity. You see it in his starting 11s. He picks intense players most of the time when they're available. When he can, he picks the players that can move, that can get about the pitch, that can go into their tackles. And Collyer is exactly that. He matches everything that we saw in that Arsenal game, but also in the Liverpool game last week. And that is why I think he is really valuable to Manchester United. And it's why I think moving forward, he deserves a chance. He deserves a chance. I'm not necessarily calling for him to start because Ugarte and Kobe are definitely still our better midfield pairing. But in terms of the rest of the season, for example, if in the Europa League we can progress in and get a favourable tie, bring Collyer in. In the FA Cup, bring Collyer in. In certain games where we need to rotate, perhaps this week against Southampton, I think it's a really good opportunity to play him. Physically, he gives you a lot, and that improves you defensively on set pieces, on long balls, but also just in the 50-50s in the middle of the pitch. Collyer is fantastic. And then on the ball, he's not bad either. Again, he's not unbelievable. He doesn't set the world alight, but he does the basics really well. And every football squad, and I mean this, every successful football squad ever has had some of those players that aren't world beaters, but they just give you a 7 out of 10 every week. They do the basics, they do the fundamentals, and it gives you such a lovely base to build around. Toby Collyer is exactly that. He epitomizes that style of footballer. That is what Toby Collyer can be for Manchester United until the end of the season, but also perhaps beyond that as well. He could be really valuable to Manchester United in the long run, and to top it all off, he's an academy player. We love academy players at Manchester United. I think he's going to be good for United. I think he's a very useful player for us. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What did you make of his cameo? Of course, He didn't get on the ball a lot because it wasn't that sort of game for United. We were restricted. We were forced to do a lot of defensive work. We only had about 21% possession whilst he was on the pitch. So we didn't really get to showcase what he can do on the ball. But defensively, again, that physicality, the athleticism, the intelligence as well with the way that he used his body, I think it was actually quite good despite almost not taking too many touches on the ball. He still impressed me. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. But apart from that, we are finished for today's video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this slightly briefer video. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.